Throughout the year, one of my biggest goals was to help Kyla get an opportunity to take her first ever deer and to get it on film.
Kyla's up first today. She's got the gun. I've got the camera. Kyla's got the crossbow. I've got my bow here. Kyla's up to bed tonight. We're in a spot that I don't think we've hunted in the last couple of years.
And whether it was deer coming in behind us, making it difficult for Kyla to get a shot, or a familiar old buck never quite giving her a clear opportunity, or deer simply not showing up at all, nearing the end of the first week of rifle season, Kyla hadn't got a chance to fire a shot. Both Kyla and I were determined to change that.
I came from the mud, there's dirt on my hands. Strong like a tree, there's roots where I stand. Oh, I've been running from the law. Hope they won't shoot me down soon.
On Friday, December 3rd, Kyla wanted to head back to the blind that we had encountered Double Edge from for an all-day sit. Admittedly, I had planned a shorter sit for that day and intended to hit it hard the following day, knowing more hunters would be out and likely to push deer our way. However, hearing the determination to sit all day, I was more than happy to make the change. After 10 hours of absolutely no movement whatsoever, finally, some deer moved through.
There's another one in that. Oh, there's two in the vines. The one that walked up to the left. One of them's gotta be big. Oh, yeah.
Where?
Okay, in the vines.
I don't know if I can see the vines that much from here, to be honest. I might have to move. Are you talking past this tree?
You see the two that cross? Like in a Y?
Yeah.
Just behind that, they're walking right to the left.
Okay.
There's two there.
Yeah.
I think she's the one out ahead, which isn't ideal.
That one looks small. That came out ahead.
I lost it when I was zooming out to try to figure out where they were for you, so that might not be the right one. Yes.
Okay.
This mature doe is walking right at us, and all I can think is, please, just this once, let it work out for Kyla to make this happen.
Sounds pretty around.
Yeah, I don't know what it was.
Why should we turn?
You can stop her whenever you need.
I don't think how she's big. Alright, she's behind the tree.
I know it's the way it goes. She'll give you a shot. Just keep on being ready. She might walk right above the blind which case I'll get out of your way and you can use the scope cam. We'll see. Just gonna turn him back down now. What did she do?
She was looking that way, and then she went right.
She's going back up the hill. Oh, that's her.
Alright, should I take it here?
Yeah.
Enjoying the meat hunters so far? Then be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel for tons of other hunting content, and stick around for all the upcoming hunting adventures this year and beyond. Like us on Facebook for regular news updates, and follow us on Instagram to keep up with where we're hunting currently. Now, back to the hunt.
She's going back up the hill. Oh, that's her.
Alright, should I take it here?
Yeah.
Alright, ready?
Yeah. Looks like you smoked her.
Yeah. I hope so.
Did she drop?
Yeah, she dropped.
Just shot your first deer.
Yeah.
I can't believe that just happened. We've been sitting here for 10 hours and haven't seen anything.
I have so much respect for Kyla's approach. Looking back to Double Edge, the buck that we saw on opening day, and how she chose not to take a shot she wasn't comfortable with, to this hunt, where her enthusiasm for such an exciting moment was put on the back burner in favor of going to ensure that the shot was immediately fatal and not a spine shot that would have caused her to drop. Knowing she was so careful to avoid this, I was confident her shot was perfect, and upon arriving at the deer, that was exactly what we saw.
What do I say?
Just tell me what happened. Like, you saw her, everything.
Basically, we saw nothing all day at all, only some chipmunks. And then I saw something in the corner of my eye, blind, and then I asked Flinter to use the binoculars to double check me, because sometimes I see what I want to see and then nothing's there. And I just thought it was the same fawn as yesterday or the day before, whatever day. It's all the same to me. And ended up being 2 fawns, and then the doe came out. We lost her for a little bit. It's a little brushy from where we were sitting. And she came out. She was going back and forth a little bit, always behind a tree to where I couldn't make a good shot. And I wanted it to be a good shot because this is my first deer ever. And I was waiting and waiting. And then the second she finally turned broadside for good, that's when I finally took the shot. And at first I was nervous, because then, you know, you second guess yourself. But then I saw her instantly drop. So then it was a little bit of relief that she was down. And even though Flinter couldn't see any of that, I was like, oh, she's good. But then I didn't know how to react because it was the first time.
Yeah, we had to come make sure that it wasn't a high shot. I had confidence in you. I thought you made a good shot.
Yeah, I was nervous. I mean, like, I knew it wasn't spine, but it's always nerve-wracking not really, like, seeing her fully down. You can only see part of her. So I was a little nervous about that, but I'm happy.
You made a great shot.
Thanks.
Did the buck encounter last Saturday, did that do anything for, you know, you deciding what is a good shot opportunity?
Yeah, kind of. When she quartered a little bit, I was like, I could probably make this shot. And then I was like, I don't. Like, I still second-guessed it because of the buck, but I knew that I'm more confident now of, like, seeing where it is. I was like, oh, this is even better. Because I think this time she wasn't directly behind something that I was like, I can't even see the shoulder. So, but knowing, like, replaying the whole buck thing in my head over and over, I was like, I could have made that shot. So that gave me more confidence to know that I could make the shot on her, and clearly
Well, hopefully that just builds from there. Maybe you'll get a chance at a buck. Yeah, I think tomorrow's our best day, and we just got a tag filled, so.
Yeah. One down.
One down.
One to go.
One to go. Now we got to get her out of here, which is going to be the fun part.
Yay!
I really believe that if the encounters had happened the other way around, Kyla would have managed to take Double Edge, the buck that we saw on the opener. However, I think it's likely for the best. Learning experiences such as this not only cause us as hunters to appreciate success more, but also they drive us to get back out and do it all again in hopes of getting another chance.
Just shot your first deer.
Yeah. And at first I was nervous, and then you second guess yourself. But then I saw her instantly drop, so then it was a little bit of relief that she was down.
Armed with newfound confidence following Kyla's successful hunt, I headed out again the next day in hopes of filling a tag and filling the freezer. And by late morning, I had eyes on a solid young buck. Unfortunately, after such a promising start to the day, movement would fizzle out by the early afternoon. Another exciting hunt, but only a week of firearm season remains. I hunted hard over the next several days, a few times coming close, but never quite having everything fall into place. Daylight deer movement continues, and as time after time young bucks and yearlings move through, it feels like there must be a mature deer behind one of them. I've tried everything I could think of, from tree stands that have worked in the past, to tree stands in new locations, to hunting from the ground in areas I felt were often overlooked. Amazingly, the issue was rarely getting eyes on deer. Most hunts produce deer movement, but always lack those mature bucks or does that I'm after. Despite this, I keep heading back, hunt after hunt, as the twilight of the season is upon us. There's no point slowing down now.
5 minutes till the end of legal light, and I could see a big deer just moving up out of the bottom down there, good 120 yards away, and I just never could get my scope on it. And, you know, in my hunter's mind, I was just certain it was a buck, quite possibly the one that we saw opening day. But I got the scope on it finally. It was a doe, I think. If it was a buck, it wasn't very big. So that was a good sit, not only because some deer got pushed past, and had they come down across the hill, they would have been in range. That was natural movement at the end there. I keep on going back and thinking about the opportunity that I had last week at a mature doe, and having passed that up for what amounts to a dice roll that a buck might show up. And ultimately, one did, but I only saw him for a couple seconds, and I'm not so sure he was a shooter anyway. But it's getting dire. It's Wednesday, December 8th, and I'm heading back to the same stand in hopes that maybe the does will do that again. At this point, it's freezer filling time, so wish me luck.
Once again, I was surrounded by young deer with no mature does in sight. As light was fading, even more deer crossed the hillside above me. I attempted to identify each one through the scope, and yet again, I saw no mature deer. Finally, at last light, several mature does appear from behind me just 40 yards away, headed straight for the base of my tree. I'm stuck. I cannot move to get set for a shot without getting caught by the deer, so I cover the light on my Tacticam and wait for them to pass behind a tree to make my move. If this is gonna happen, it's gonna have to be quick. As I turned to try to get into position, one of the deer caught my movement and they all scooted off. So close to getting a shot. It's not the first time deer have crossed so close to my stand, although it's not exactly what I would call a common occurrence. 2 years earlier in 2019, I had nearly the exact same encounter from the same stand, only this time I was able to film as the deer cut in front of me rather than behind. By this point in 2019, I didn't have a remaining doe tag, so my main goal was to not give away my location in the stand. And despite knowing something was off, the doe never fled. Had this year's hunt played out in this way, I truly believe I could have gotten the shot off. A little more light or a slightly different direction of travel, and I could be finally punching another doe tag. As it stands though, 3 days remain in the 2021 firearm season, so I head out the following morning once again, hoping to finally shake up my luck.
Well, this morning was pretty much a bust, and at this point I really am questioning if I could catch a break if you threw it to me right now, and be honest, I don't know if I could. From the does last night and not being able to get a shot despite the fact that they were 10 yards at one point, to this morning's hunt not seeing anything, and now I just got a text that changes the rest of the day's plans. I was supposed to be heading back right about now and packing up and making an hour drive to go and hunt some public. My sister's boyfriend invited me along. He thought we had pretty decent odds of running across some tracks and getting on a buck that way, and what's left of the snow here, but turns out he's pretty sick, so now I don't know what I'm gonna do. I guess go and check the trail camera, see if anything's been pushed through here, moving through here during the day, and if not, I'll go back to that same stand we were in last night and hope for a different result, but who knows.
As I got the card and headed back, I was hoping just to see some evidence of does moving through this property in daylight. What I saw instead blew me away, and now I've got 2.5 days to find him.